Okay, guys, I just got back from watching Sonic 3 and clean up on all my pants because that movie was peak. Okay, so if you've been watching my channel for a while, then you know I don't usually like record myself in front of a blue screen. This is in the background in case I edit this video at all. Small YouTube channel. I'm on that YouTube grind, so I'm just doing this to get this video out as soon as I can. I just want to give like a short review of the Sonic movie, spoilers, and I'm getting started now. So the movie, way better than the first two movies. Like if you like the first two movies, go and watch this movie. Like it's way better. There's way more scenes where you're like, or at least for me, where I was like jumping out of my seat and I'm like, oh my gosh, and I'm like looking around to see everybody else's reactions. The movie is funnier than the first movie. I don't know. It's funnier in the way that it has less pop culture references like the first movie. Like I hate the pop culture references in the first two movies because they're not funny and they're not like, they weren't references I got. Like I got them, but it's like, who else is gonna get my most hated joke watching the second movie was the Fast and Furious joke, and I'm like, as a non-Fast and Furious fan, it made me mad. I didn't like that joke. Anyways, so yeah, the humor in this movie is funny. There's like two really funny jokes. Like the joke whenever Robotnik and Gerald, they're like, Dr. Robotnik's testing Gerald and he's asking him a bunch of science and math or nerd related questions. And then he gets to a point where he's like, they put their hands up at each other. And then they're like, we're so similar. It's almost like we're two characters played by the same actor in a movie. That joke was so funny. I love that joke. I like fourth wall breaks that are like that. And then like, it's funny because like the two funniest jokes in the movie like happen within like 5 to 10 minutes of each other. So like 5 to 10 minutes later, you get this other joke where Sonic comes through the ring portal and he's telling Tom and Matt, he's like, hey, we need you to join us. We need your help. And then Tom and Matt are like, we're so bored without you guys. They like, we're developing hobbies or something. You see a bunch of like arts and crafts stuff around their house. And Sonic is like, what is that? And it's like a little puppet of Tom. It's a little puppet of Tom, and he grabs it and he's like making it talk, and it's pretty funny. But then I think I'm kind of paraphrasing because I only watched the movie once. So I literally just saw it. But Maddie's like, Tom, I told you to get rid of that thing, and then Tom is like, that's funny because that's what people keep telling me to do with you, or something like that, and that's funny. There's another joke. They're sneaking into the base, right? And then they have these things that Tails made on their necks that like let their faces like turn into other people or whatever. And then Maddie turns into the female gun soldier that like Sonic talked to earlier in the movie, and because she was trying to disguise herself. And she was like, is it working? And then Tom's like, oh yeah, it's working, all right. And then she like punches him, and it was so funny. But yeah, so this movie's like, comedy in this movie is better than the first two movies. Just no pop culture references. The Konichi what joke, because it's not funny whatsoever. It's so cringy. That was in the trailers, not in this movie. I think from seeing fan backlash of that joke in that trailer, they took it out of the movie, which is so funny. I think it's funny that like people keep giving the Sonic movies crap, and then every time they do, the people who are making the movie take it out of the movie. Like first they redesign Sonic, and then they take out the Kenichi what joke. Like going into the movie, I was kind of anticipating that joke just to hear it again. Like it's like, I hate it, but I did want to hear it again. It's kind of funny that I hate it. So anyways, yeah, the movie's funny. The action in the movie is crazy. Like the first meeting between Sonic and Shadow, when Sonic is like chasing Shadow through the city, that's really cool. And then when the fight ends and then Sonic like blacks out and wakes back up in these handcuffs, like yeah. And then eventually it gets into like Sonic's rematch with Shadow, where they both, oh my gosh, I literally like jumped out of my seat because like Sonic, he gets the point. There's a point in the movie where the tone like completely changes. Like I heard people talking about that, and I was waiting for it. And the people who were saying that were not lying, because the tone does change. Like there's a part where Tom gets injured in the movie because Shadow like injures, he punches him, knocks him out, and then he's in critical condition. And the Sonic's just like asking Knuckles where the Chaos Emerald is, because Knuckles doesn't know, or Knuckles is the only one that knows where it is. And earlier in the movie, they said that they would never use the Chaos Emerald again. But Sonic's like, Knuckles, I need to know where the Chaos Emerald is, and I'm not gonna ask you again. So Knuckles is like, Sonic, you don't want to do this. And then Sonic is like, I'm not gonna ask you again. And then both of their like eyes start glowing and they start electrifying, like electricity starts popping off. I thought we were gonna get a Sonic versus Knuckles part 2 or part 3, however they fought like twice before. But then they end up not doing it. And then there's a funny scene with Wade Whipple. It turns out Wade Whipple is the one who has the Chaos Emerald, and Sonic takes it from him. He goes super, and then he's going to fight Shadow, and him flying, because they're in space, they're flying through the ship to grab Shadow from the ship that he was on with Robotnik, was so fire. I was like, oh my gosh, he's serious. He was all mad, and Shadow's like, fine, we could fight. They start fighting, and I am so happy that, like, how I imagined the fight being, because I knew they were gonna fight as super hedgehogs or whatever. I knew they were gonna do it, and when they started doing it, it looked just like how I imagined it would look. Like, I wanted it to look like a Dragon Ball fight, and it looks just like a Dragon Ball fight. Like, them both being super, they're glowing, they're like hitting each other, they're flying around, punching each other. It looks so good. Like, that scene is so good. But then eventually they come to an understanding, because, you know, Shadow's not bad. He's kind of like an anti-hero or whatever. So they come to an understanding, and they both start fighting Eggman or whatever. And that was really cool. Like, and the best part of the movie, even better than the post-credit scene, which I'm gonna get into in a second, I think this is the best part of the movie, is whenever they both go super, they decide that they're gonna fight Eggman, and then Live and Learn starts playing. Live and Learn. I was screaming. Like, I was not really screaming, but like, I was like, ah, they're playing it, you know? Yeah, I really wish, like, the theater that's near me was more, like, the people that went to it were more cheery, I guess, because there's so many parts in the movie where I wanted to yell, or I wanted to cheer, I wanted to clap, but like, you can just tell it's not that kind of theater, it's not that kind of crowd. Like, people were clapping when the movie ended, but oh my gosh, I really wanted to jump out of my seat and scream when Live and Learn started playing. But yeah, so then the movie ends, you know. So yeah, the movie ends, and it's a really good movie. It looks like Dr. Robotnik is dead, but like, you know, he's most likely not dead. If Jim Carrey wants to come back for a fourth movie, which they already announced that they're doing, and then he's gonna come back, and then Eggman's not gonna be dead. And then it's implied that Shadow is dead, but the post-credit scene reveals that Shadow's not dead. But the post-credit scene, let's get into that. The post-credit scene, oh my gosh. It was exactly what I was expecting. Like, Sonic, he's like out in the field. He was racing Tails and Knuckles earlier in the film, and he finally finished that race because he never got to finish it. But it turns out he ran too far, and he finds a sign. I think the sign says like he's in New York. He's like, oh, I ran too far. But then there's like glowing eyes in the distance. I'm trying to say, like, I only saw the movie once, so it might not be exactly as I'm saying, but like glowing eyes were like behind him, and he turns around and it's revealed that it's Metal Sonic. And he tries to shoot Sonic, and he misses, and Sonic's like, if you're gonna try to hit me, then make sure you hit me or something like that. And then there's more glowing eyes in the background, and I was like, what the heck? There's like multiple Metal Sonics, that's crazy. But then a hammer comes down. You might know where this is going. A hammer comes down and like smashes all of them, I think. And then it's like a person in a cloak, and the Sonic's like, who are you? And then person pulls the cloak off, or pulls the hood off, and it's Amy the freaking Hedgehog. It's Amy the Hedgehog, and that was so hype. I was like, oh my gosh, Metal Sonic and Amy for Sonic 4. That's crazy. I was really like, I knew they were going in a Metal Sonic direction, but I was really hoping for like Silver the Hedgehog, but I guess Silver's gonna come in Sonic 5 or spin-off show or whatever. But yeah, movie, so good. The movie's peak. It's 10 out of 10. It's the best Sonic movie in the trilogy. I really don't know how they're gonna top it. Like, I don't know how Metal Sonic and Amy in the next movie is gonna top Sonic and Shadow, Live and Learn, Super Saiyan fight. Like, I don't know. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, then like the video, and if you enjoyed me, then subscribe. Not like I said before, this is not usually what I do. I usually have more edited, more scripted videos. So if you want to, I don't know, listen to me talk about Nintendo stuff, check out my channel. But thank you for watching. And hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye-bye. By the way, after like I left the theater and I get in my truck and I'm driving home, I listened to Live and Learn twice on the way home.